What's going on, folks? This is Steve Tucker. I'm alongside my good friend here, Frankie Barroso. Man, it is New Hampshire, and we are so glad to be here for the Dash for Cash, our second Dash for Cash of the season for the Harpoon Design Truck Series. And man, we have 4 drivers going to go for the cash here today. Who can get it? Man, I'll tell you what, this is going to have a championship atmosphere, I feel like, Frankie. I'm going to bring in Frankie right here. Man, how's this going to be, dude? Because, I mean, again, Dash for Cash, it's pretty simple, right? The driver, out of those 4 who finishes first will win that cash, just like a championship. And New Hampshire has been the site of many of our championship races in the past. So this place is going to have kind of that atmosphere again, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For those 4 drivers, it's going to be kind of a championship atmosphere, like you just said. All you got to do is just finish ahead of each other. And you got Mark Whitley, Nick Lights, Trevor Zelazny, and I believe Joseph Mealy are the 4 drivers going for the cash. Like I said, it's pretty simple on those 4. I mean, obviously a race win is on the line, but I think those drivers want that cash money, baby.
Yes, sir. Well, right now it's going to be qualifying for New Hampshire. 125 laps are ahead of us, and it's going to be a great, great time. This is, Frankie, near and dear to my heart. This is my local track, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Very, very fun. It's flat. It's kind of fast down the straights. It's pretty cool. So what are your thoughts about this track, man?
Ooh, I would say New Hampshire, it's surprisingly a bigger track than you would think. I mean, I don't know. I mean... It races like a short track. It races like a big short track, in my opinion, honestly. And you have, huge braking zones, like how you would on a short track, but you have long straightaways. So aerodynamics are pretty important at this place. You don't want to damage the truck, especially early. And you'll see guys maybe slapping the wall off of 2 and 4. And also, you'll see guys getting loose off of 2 and 4. I mean, track's about 104 degrees right now. And... I feel like, especially for the first couple laps, you'll see guys slipping and sliding.
Yes, sir. Well, right now, a bunch of our Dash for Cash guys are already out on track. So, folks at home, if you're watching, just so you know, on the left side of your screen is our amazing scoring tower. All the drivers with the red backgrounds are your Dash for Cash drivers. So, keep in mind, keep a lookout for those. Again, out of those 4 drivers, the one that finishes ahead of the other 3 will be the Dash for Cash winner. Keep in mind, those guys don't have to win the race. All they got to do is finish ahead of the other guys. So pretty cool, but keep in mind, there's still 20 plus other drivers going for, just playoff points, Frankie, going for wins, going for first time wins. I mean, these guys need these things. And we're right now, this is our 3rd to last race before the playoffs. What's it look like?
Right now, I think about a couple guys. I'd probably say about 5 drivers are pretty safe, if I had to guess. You have your 3 winners, Mark Whitley, Nick Lights, and Joseph Mealy. And you have 2 other truck drivers that are really good on points. They're 100 or above from the cutoff line. Those drivers are Trevor Zelazny and Mitch Diamond. Those 2, I think, are comfortably safe, in my opinion. They're going to try to go for stage wins, and they're going to try to go for that race win. Expect those 2 to try to pull off some bold strategy tonight to try to get that elusive win. Then you also got a couple guys that are pretty safe or above 20 points. You have Jonathan Wright, Thomas Meeks, Clinton Woodby. You have EJ Marshall and Michael Lanphier, who are over 30 points above the cutoff line. You can get John Wright at 57 points above the cutoff line. So I think those guys are pretty safe. They still have to run a clean couple weeks, but I think those guys are good. I think then you got your one driver category in Larson, where he's got to hope nobody below him wins, and he's just got to continue to chop down the points. He's got to try to get to Michael Lanphier, who's about 15 points ahead of him. Then below Larson, behind 18 points, is Justin Stroll, first driver out of the playoffs. So, like I said, for Trevor Zelazny and Mitch Diamond, expect these boys to pull off some strategy to try to get stage points. Because that's really the difference. 20 points from Vanderplatz to Josh Larson, that's 2 stage wins there. If you keep cutting that down, if you finish 5th in both stages, that's 10 points. You've already cut that down in half if you're Vanderplatz. So expect some strategy in the middle of the stages to try to get stage points for those guys below the cut line.
That's right. And right now we've already seen a couple different things that we're bringing in on board for the stream, bringing in some driver cams. First week we'll be doing that for the truck series. We're going to try and get it going here for the Cup series this next or this Thursday for New Hampshire as well. But some fun angles right there from Nick Lights, our season 1 champion, Charles Balance. We have 6 drivers tonight, I believe, so we'll have some fun with that on the stream. Let us know in the chat who your favorite is. It's bound to be a blast. But right now, qualifying still. Right now, watching Joe David. Love this paint scheme, the Bonefish number 6. Shiny pink car. Coming down right now, 21st position. What's he gonna get here? 21st, I guess. That's all the truck has.
Yeah, absolutely. Expect to see the faster times to be on the first lap. It's kind of a trend I've noticed here. And it's not only the truck series, it's Xfinity and Cup Series action. Usually your fastest laps are going to be that first lap.
That's right. And right now, Frankie, Mark Whitley back on top. P1 currently with a 30.29. Very fast. I mean, Jeff Tetro, P2, 30.32. So a lot of fast guys here. Well, one thing I was noticing, Frankie, that in practice, I got some inside information from a lot of the drivers, and a lot of them were saying that to get around this place quickly, it's just basically a matter of getting or downshifting into the corners on new tires. And they were able to get into the 3s, I believe they were saying. So pretty fast, man. I mean, on long tires or long stretch of tires, how's that going to affect them?
Well, I'd say downshifting, I would say it more affects the fuel situation more than the tires. Like, sure, you know, obviously when you downshift, it's going to kind of create a huge shock for the tires a little bit, but it's only going to be for a split second. I think, obviously, you got to worry about tires at this place. I mean, this ain't Homestead or Charlotte, but you cannot lose the rear tires here at this place. You know, it'll absolutely destroy your run throughout you know, your entire fuel run, because you'll just be slipping and sliding while everybody's just kind of going around you like you're stopped, and you're like, well, what the heck am I doing wrong? But you know, it's not a fun time, I can guarantee you. If anybody burns their rears, you'll see, you may hear some swearing on the radio, you may hear some what is going on here? Why am I being
Mike Corvo trying to get everything he can out of turn 2, but Frankie, I mean, you're not kidding. Turn 2 is going to be a storyline today. That place is Calamity Corner.
Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth. See, Calamity Corner, turn 2. I mean, it's just, no matter what we get in here, it's, you know, either Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or Cup Series. It always seems like pesky turn 2, where you'll see drivers just either get in the wall, get a little too high, or you'll see guys just trying to pedal it out of there and just lose it.
That's right. Well, so starting order for today. Man, I'll tell you what, Mark Whitley with the pole. Very, very impressive right there with the 30.29. Keep that in mind. Fastest guy in the field right now. But again, Dash for Cash driver. So very, very cool to see. We're going to be jumping on board or showing you guys the grid real quick. Let me just get this going real fast. Here we go. Mark Whitley's in P1. Jeff Tetro, P2. Jonathan Wright, 3rd position. Great job. Nick Lights in P4. Going to be seeing Thomas Meeks in P5. Awesome job there. P6 is Joseph Mealy. P7, Mitch Diamond. Clinton Woodby, P8. Great job so far, Frankie, for Woodby. He'll be needing a lot of these points here to get into these playoffs, but looking strong. P9, Nicholas Simpson. 10th is Matt Smith. 11 is Jamie Graham. 12th is Andrew McKenzie. 13th, Larry McKenzie Jr., 14th, Josh Purcell, EJ Marshall in 15th, Michael Lanphier in 16th, Charles Balance is in 17th, Isaac Balsamo, P18. That whole row will be also on the driver cam, so look out for them. 19th, Charlie Birch, Melvin Young in 20th, 21st is Joe David, Trevor Zelazny in 22nd, Dash for Cash driver, so 22nd place starting grid is a little concerning, but I'm sure he's got a bit of a, maybe a strategy going on there. And then rounding up the field, 23rd, Anthony Williams. Nick Biddy, 24th. Matthew Fleming, ignore that. He's our choose truck, but we're glad to have him. 25th is Josh Larson. hardcore passion for the race here. He's actually in a hotel room, Frankie, Josh Larson, making it, I believe, for a work trip or whatnot. So his dedication is here, and he's going to round out this field. So Mike Corvo in P27, starting off in that last spot. But pretty cool, man. A lot of these guys are just, dedication is shown. They do not want to miss these races and get themselves into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I'd be worried about if I was Josh Larson is maybe the hotel Wi-Fi is better than his own Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a running joke between us two, but who knows? Maybe it is. And then you'll have to stay there long term.
Yeah, we've seen that. Josh is always one of those, Blinky McGee type drivers, and it's it's no fault of his own, but it's all fun and games. So, Frankie, right now we have 30 laps to go for stage 1. Going to be a good time here as we bring you guys the Dash for Cash for race number 2, our second and last race for the Dash for Cash. In all 3 out of the 4 of them, Frankie, starting in the top 5. So that's massive.
Yeah, those 3 drivers making a really good impression. I'll tell you what, Jeff Tetro, and Jonathan Wright making another good impression. I don't know what it is, but I think John Wright has been eating his Wheaties in the morning. He has been on a tear these last, I would say, almost month, but we're coming to the green.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. Mark Whitley leads him off. This flat 1 mile, magic mile track. Turns 1 and 2 are nice and tight here, but turn 2 is so slippery. Can they get through it? So far, so good with these boys. Oh, 3 wide, EJ Marshall. Oh, hold on now. Goes 3 wide. EJ Marshall, first caution of the day, comes out. Not sure what was going on there with EJ Marshall and a couple guys, but we're going to go back and take a look. Interesting. What happened here, Frankie?
Yeah, pretty interesting. You see, I think that's EJ Marshall trying to make it 3 wide. Now they're back to 2.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think they're just trying to go for the same real estate.
Yeah, I mean, but lap 1, Frankie. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm with you there. I wouldn't make that move if I was a 16, but at the same time, lap 1, he's trying to get all the spots he can on restarts and starts. Obviously, the best place to get past or to make up spots is on restarts.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a big hit on that right side and that front nose.
Yeah, let's go back and watch it again, but from Lanfear's point of view.
Yeah, I think that kind of tells the story. Lanfear was looking to make a pass on that 57 truck of Josh Purcell, and that 16 truck of EJ Marshall was looking to pass Michael Lanfear. And it's just kind of one of those chain reactions that can happen here where, AJ's trying to race that 13, but then that 13's caught looking at the 57 and not looking behind him. So I don't see too much there. It's just kind of happens at these short tracks. I mean, everything happens super quick.
Yeah, definitely hard to see. But I mean, what does that do for EJ Marshall's playoffs, Frankie? I mean, currently he's close. I believe he's pretty close to the bubble. We'll verify that in just a second here. But I mean, yeah, EJ Marshall right now currently plus 34 for the championship. Not looking terrible. I mean, he's going to get it back going. But I mean, man, lap 1, we're showing that kind of aggression. We got to hold on to it.
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you, but I think as long as EJ stays on the lead lap, which I believe he has, so I think what he really needs is he just needs to have a clean race and, just not damage his race any further.
It's true.
So we'll see how he plays it, but I mean, he's got right front damage and he has nose damage, so that's going to affect the aero as you get to the choose truck.
That's right, running aboard Lanfear right here. Driver cam doesn't look too bad. His car maybe some left front damage, but overall not too bad right there. Looking pretty good. But you said a choose truck is in play. Right now, so far, a lot of these guys passing well. Oh, Josh Larson, he's flirting with him, but Great stuff. Cool. Well, so far so good. Mark Whitley choosing the outside lane. I mean, Frankie, this is one of those tracks I feel like the outside lane, it's progressive banking all around this place. So I feel like that's one of those things where you have to keep in mind, you know, when you're choosing this lane. I mean, the outside lane, that third dark seam, typically is the fastest way around this place.
Yeah, usually. I mean, you got guys that know how to wrap around that second lane, yours truly. But, you know, some guys just like that top lane. I think Mark Whitley, I think choosing that outside lane, honestly, has some security for Mark Whitley. He doesn't have to worry about, you know, trying to wrap around that second lane. I will admit it is harder to run fast on that second lane than that third lane. I think Mark Whitley's just looking for a better angle into the corner, and he's looking just to get that run off.
That's right. Folks, if you're just joining us, everybody on the left side ticker with the red is the Dash for Cash 4 drivers, so watch them as they try and get this money here for the race. We're also streaming today in 1440p, so nice little upgrade. So hopefully you guys are getting some better shots. But right now, Mark Whitley can lead him off on the outside. Great job by him. Couple of guys beating and banging around that wall. Turn 2, man. I'll tell you what, that is not fun to get around there and trying to hold on to it. A lot of loose conditions. Charlie Birch right here trying to make a move around Melvin Young.
I just think these boys just need to get settled in and just try to find a groove here.
Woo, that's Josh Larson got loose right there.
Yeah, like I was just saying, you got to find your groove, and Josh Larson just unfortunately not finding his groove at the moment.
Tough. Nick Light's back up front, currently in P2, trying to catch Mark Whitley. Let's drive on board real quick, see what we can see with him. There he is. Give you a really good lap, or a sense of the lap around here. These drivers are downshifting, I believe, in turns oh, there it is right there. You heard it. Downshifting on the outside groove, kind of dominating the corner. Caution, second caution of the night has come out. Alrighty, well, let's go back and take a look at what happened there. Second caution. I mean, Frankie, you said it best. This place races like a short track. It's you know, definitely has that vibe for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We got, I think, I heard some tire squealing out of turn 2, so Calamity Corner might have struck for the first time tonight.
Okay, let's take a look here. So I know that I'm seeing a couple different things here. A lot of drivers involved. EJ Marshall again, perhaps, in Michael Lanfield, Charlie Birch, Anthony Williams. Oh, yeah, way up front there. Nick Biddy, Melvin Young. Oh, man, Charlie Birch hits the wall. Oh, my, Frankie. This is huge.
Man, we got a parking lot.
Yes, we do. Okay, well, we'll ride on board Charlie Birch as we go back and take a look at everything that just happened. Let's take a look. So Charlie comes down into turn 2, or turn 1, excuse me.
Oh, that happened right in front of him.
Oh man, did Nick Biddy just lose it?
No, I believe he had some contact with the 69 truck of Melvin Young.
Okay, oh yeah, so you're right. Melvin Young kind of comes up a little bit into Nick Biddy, and man, just oh no. Charlie just has nowhere to go. Slams on the inside. Man, right into Corvo. Lanefield right there involved again. Josh Larson narrowly misses it.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking at that trail smoke coming out of that 16 of EJ Marshall. Just not a good night.
Yeah, EJ.
It's went from bad to worse.
Yeah, EJ's night seemingly done right now. Charlie Birch has huge damage right there. It doesn't look like a blown engine so far, so maybe fixable, but definitely not great news. Nick Biddy pretty well beat up. Melvin Young, also some big damage. So a lot of issues early on, guys. Not good.
Yeah, I just think that right there, Melvin Young's just trying to get close to Nick Biddy. He's not trying to touch him. He's just trying to get close to him, and just got a little bit too close.
So back up front is Mark Whitley. Again, P2 is Nick Lights. And then Joseph Mealy in P3. Trevor Lasney did avoid that wreck right there just a little bit. Very, very close miss as they get around the choose car here. Everyone choosing their lanes. It's a great job by Trevor so far, holding on to it. Great job. Let's hit a quick word from our sponsors here as we get going green just shortly, under one more lap to go. Already, huge thanks to Charles Balance and Young's Auto Repair Center for sponsoring the truck series. We love them. Definitely a big fan of them. Let's check in on old Charles Balance here. There he is. Woo! Wheeling that puppy under yellow. Pretty solid effort so far. Keeping the car clean, that's all that matters. But right now, Mark Whitley going to be leading him off. Again, back into green. Off we go. Mark Whitley leads them off. Green flag on lap 13.
Yeah, Mark Whitley again gets one of those coveted first jumps. Gonna pull out to about a 2 trunk length lead.
So far, so good. Mitch Diamond right here looking pretty strong. Currently in P5. He's making it work. He started pretty close to the back of the pack, looking pretty good. Got here late, right in qualifying, but sometimes that happens. But nice. And then Jamie Graham right behind him in that 90 Holy City Chuck. Love that. We have the onboard of good old Jamie Graham. There he is. Looking real good so far. Currently in P6. Making a great effort right now. So far, so good. Also on the thumbnail today. So these drivers love it when they're on the thumbnail. So shout out to him. Good stuff. Back up front, Mark Whitley. Nothing's changed. Nick Lights. Jeff Tetro. Great maneuver by him. He's been, I'll tell you what, Jeff Tetro, he has been catching fire lately. He's looked very, very good in the Cup Series lately and also in these trucks. Starting to get a lot more comfortable, starting to know how to, race these guys. Looking pretty strong.
Yeah, looking pretty strong. Just got the wall a little bit there out of 4. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, just a kiss. But I would say the only thing that's a little bit concerning is the fact that Mark Whitley and Nick Lights have pulled out to kind of a group of their own. You have 2 groups. You have the first group, second group, Whitley and Lights all by themselves, and you have Jeff Tetro and Joseph Mealy all by themselves. Looks like they're just dropping about a 1/10.5, 2/10 a lap. I would say something needs to change for Joseph Mealy's sake in the Dash for Cash, but also Jeff Tetro for the entire race.
That's right. Couple of moves right here. Joseph Mealy trying to make a move around Tetro, but can't quite get it done right here. Back in the pack. A little farther back is Thomas Meeks. Nick Simpson right here trying to make a move. Clinton Woodby. A lot of these guys fighting to get into the playoffs. Already, a couple of these guys already are above the cut line, which is great, but definitely need to get them higher. Also, too, man, I'll tell you what, Clinton Woodby doing great lately.
Yeah, We were talking about John Wright a little bit in the pre-race, and who showed up right behind him is Clinton Woodby, putting up some good performances, getting used to the truck series. And right behind that little group, you have Trevor Zelazny, who started about 22nd. Just worked his way all the way up to the 11th spot. I do believe he's a little quicker than these guys. He's running a little bit different line. He's running about kind of a normal line, which you would be around Phoenix, as we have a little bit of Nick Simpson blinking. And you see Nick Simpson. Yeah, Nick Simpson's riding kind of that first 1.5 line. He's kind of trying to wrap around that. And unfortunately, it's going to cost him here. He's going to get passed by Trevor Zelazny.
That's right. Zelazny does find himself in the top 10 right now. 10 laps to go until the end of stage 1. So a great job so far for him.
Yeah, I just don't know about that first line. I'm seeing Nick Simpson run it. Doesn't look like he's having a whole lot of success. I do think that running that line, I would say, if anything, does help cool your tires a little bit. But the problem is, how much time are you giving up in order to do that?
Exactly.
You know, yeah. How much is it worth? You know, is it worth losing 0.2 a lap to try to cool down those tires?
Right now, back of the pack, checking out a couple of guys right here. Isaac Balsamo, currently in 18th place, not looking too bad. Avoided all the wrecks so far, and currently holding on strong to it. You can see him right there in the driver cam, looking pretty solid. All concentrated, making sure that he gets around this place nice and clean. Trying to keep that truck clean. Try and get some points there at the end. See what happens.
Yeah, looking good. Isaac just by himself, trying to learn the track. I would say he needs to move at least another lane up, especially on both, I would say 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is not too bad, but as we see a pass for position, Trevor Zelazny, the big mover of the race.
Yes, sir, so far.
Yeah, he's going to try to work his way around Thomas Meeks. Not going to be an easy pass, even though it is a teammate. Not going to be an easy pass as Thomas Meeks. He's going to try to fight around that outside.
Thomas Meeks right here on board. Driver cam. Trevor Zelazny getting a little loose right there on the exit of turn 2, but so far looking pretty strong right here. Thomas Meeks currently again in P10, so if he holds on to this, he will get that 1 extra stage point towards the playoffs, which obviously is massive. So far looking pretty good. Good stuff so far.
Yeah, it just looks like, especially on that pass, Thomas Meeks just got a little bit too high, and it's really easy to do that on the outside lane, trying to keep that car below you pinned down, and you just can't beat that second line in the middle of the corner. You can beat them on exit, but you just can't beat them in the middle of the corner. And
that's right.
It just shows that if you can run the side of the corner really well, then I think that second line will really benefit you. If you're more better on exit, I think that third line where the leaders are running will probably benefit you more.
Yes, sir. Right now, big shout out to Andrew Sauer in the chat. Always good to have you, man. Just always funny. Every time I look over, seeing all kinds of funny comments. So appreciate that. Keeping the chat full. Always appreciate you guys just being in here and being a part of the community. Love to see it. Right now, not a whole lot of changes here in the top 3. Mark Whitley, Nick Lights, and Joseph Mealy getting around lap traffic right now. Lap 26. So our Dash for Cash drivers are closing in on each other. Great to see. Trevor Zelazny, I'm sure, will be back up there in due time. Currently came back from 24th starting spot, so definitely a hard-fought battle for him. But this mid-pack around 8th, 9th, and 10th, trying to get this last stage point, making some moves. As Zelazny makes his move around JD, Jonathan Wright. Great job by him so far. It's what it takes.
Ooh, got Mitch diving to the wall. Maybe got a little too high. He's going to lose that spot to Jamie Graham. But big question is, how's his truck?
Yeah, I mean,
take a look at that right side.
Yeah, you can see some. Oh man, that baddest American Lager truck is a little bit scraped up. Might have left some paint on the backstretch wall, but looking pretty solid still.
I think that's going to be, as long as he didn't damage that straightaway speed on that truck, I think he'll be okay. As Trevor's Lasney going to get to the inside. As long as the straightaway speed isn't hurt in that truck very much, I think he'll be okay. As he's going almost right up next to the wall to try to find some grip.
Yes, sir. And there it is right there. Trevor's Lasney making that move for the top 5. Excuse me, 6th place. Already. Mark Whitley currently has a 3.38 second lead. He is the man to beat tonight for sure. Nick Lights right behind him with his teammate Joseph Mealy closing in. Passing lap traffic of Melvin Young. Right now, the boys are going to be coming across for the Stage 1 finale right here. And Mark Whitley going to be your Stage 1 winner here at New Hampshire for the Dash for Cash race number 2. Sponsored by Harpoon Design. Love them. Go and check out harpoondesign.com for all your iRacing paint needs. Best in the business. Gotta go check them out, man. So good. So, big shout out to them. Mark Whitley going to be, your Stage 1 winner, followed by Nick Lights, Joseph Mealy, Jeff Teacher on P4, and rounding out the top 5, Jimmy Graham. We're going to go and thank our sponsors real quick. Come back and talk to Mark. All right, we're back again to New Hampshire for the Dash for Cash race number 2, sponsored by Harpoon Design. Man, I'll tell you what, Mark Whitley going to be leading him off the pit road here. Again, followed by Nick Lights, Joseph Mealy, Jeff Tetro. Trevor's Lasney gets that extra spot from Jamie Graham, so he'll be starting off P5. Great to see. Let's try and bring in Mark Whitley here to the top, or into the booth. Interview the Stage 1 winner. Let's bring him on in. Let's just give me a quick second. Here he is. How's it going, Mark Whitley? Stage 1 winner. Looking pretty dominant up there, man. What's it going to take to win the race, and not only win the race, but win the Dash for Cash?
More of the same. Like I said last week, this is one of my favorite tracks. I feel like I got a good handle on it. Short run, long run, I wasn't really running too hard the whole race. I was just kind of running the pace I wanted to, and it was enough to just hold Nick off there for a couple laps and then just slowly walk away and just kind of take our own lines through traffic. So it's just going to be about trying to stay up front here and just do what we do best and just control the race.
Love that, man. Hey, congratulations on the Stage 1 win. We're going to let you choose right here. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so Mark Whitley right there choosing as we always do on the yellow flags. Right now, Choose Truck, Matt Fleming, our good friend again in the Choose Truck, making some moves here. Nick Biddy passing alongside as the lap down car. So far, so good. Off we go. Frankie, what do we expect here in this stage number 2?
Well, honestly, I really expect more of the same. If I'm gonna be honest.
Frankie, tell the world what you're eating.
Oh, okay, come on. I had to sneak in a quick something, and unfortunately, I was trying to sneak it in, and unfortunately, I got caught. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's Takis, aren't they? Is it Takis? I know you.
It is not. It is not Takis, unfortunately,
Okay.
but I will have that later tonight.
All right.
It is actually popcorners, so.
Popcorners. Oh, okay. That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, stage 2, Frankie, more of the same, you think? Less of the same, more cautions? What do you think?
I would say probably more of the same. We might get a quick caution here. We might. As a driver, I would hope not. But I would say as a broadcaster, I'd say maybe 1 or 2 to spice things up.
Okay. I respect that. Well, either way, here we go. Mark Whitley going to lead him off again as P1. I think Light's going to try and see what he has for him. But it's tough. Here we go. Mark Whitley leads him off. Stage number 2 has begun. We're going to do a nice old school, not old school. I don't know why I said that, but we're going to go to our Harpoon design. Bring the noise. Let's get it. Big thanks to Harpoon Design for that Bring the Noise segment. We always love that. Always a good time to hear these engines roaring, man, around this 1 mile flat track. Love to see it. But right now, back up front, Mark Whitley. Nick Lights has made a move, gotten pretty close to him, but so far, back up front. But the pace car is out right at the end of Bring the Noise. Good timing.
Yeah, pretty good timing. Wonder what happened.
Yeah, we'll go back and take a look. Right now, I'm showing as Isaac Balsamo might have been involved in a little bit of a scuffle here. Let's take a look. All right, so Isaac, Oh, Anthony Williams just kind of drills into him, entering into turn 3. That is not good.
Oh,
Isaac Balsamo, man, here he is. Kind of hard into that turn 3 wall. Doesn't look terrible, but look back at it live.
I would say just a misjudged braking zone. Unfortunately, just all he can do right there is just lock the brakes. That is actually a pretty hard hit. I'll be
Right on board.
what Anthony's saying.
Yeah.
4, 3. I mean,
Woo!
to be... Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think usually you want to go at the 2 or right after the 2 marker. Anthony Williams just didn't know the braking zone right there, or at least didn't know Isaac's braking zone. Every braking zone for every driver is different. You know, just misjudged it. Just kind of, I wouldn't say ended Isaac's day, but that truck will not drive the same.
Yeah, I mean, definitely has some damage here as we see in the back end and the front ends. Didn't hit the back of the wall too hard, it looks like. I mean, he'll definitely keep driving and, you know, try and score those points. But, I mean, so far, that's a tough break for him. Anthony Williams as well. I mean, big front damage right now. Let's take a look back at him. I mean, yeah, that damage right there, not a whole lot, but I mean, it definitely will affect you a little bit. I mean, Frankie, how much does aero play a role here, if at all?
Aero plays a decently bigger than expected role, especially because you have a ton of you have some straightaways here. Like, you know, if this is like Martinsville or Bristol, I would even say Richmond. It's like, well, sure, you need aerodynamics, but you don't really need aerodynamics, so to speak.
Right.
Like, sure, you could pull out a fender here or there. You can bust in your nose a little bit, but like, it's not the end of the world if that happens. Sorry, but here, because of the long straightaways, you need straightaway speed, but you also need downforce through the corners. So, I mean, that's going to be really tough for Anthony Williams to really go any faster. I think he's got to go down pit road and try to fix some of that damage.
That's right. Well, Frankie, don't look now, but right now on lap 42, we have all 4 Dash for Cash drivers, 1 through 4.
Yeah, as if there wasn't any doubt. I think these 4, especially I would say the top 3, have really kind of shown their pace tonight. I think Trevor has been minded in traffic a little bit, honestly,
right.
But we'll see what he really has now, especially since this stage, especially for the Dash for Cash races, and both trucks and Cup are a little different, because not only do you get to win some money at the end, but also the stage length, especially in stage 2.
That's right.
And 3 are different. Like, for example, this stage end will be at lap 90. So normally what would be a stage 3 run is now a stage 2 run.
Well, here we go. Lap 43, green flag in the air. Mark Whitley going to lead him off. Bunch of guys back here getting involved. Charles Bounce making a good move here. Going to be around Anthony Williams. Great job right there for them. Let's ride on board real quick with good old Charles Bounce. See how he's doing today in the driver cam. Oh boy. Looks like he might have logged out for the night. So it looks like he's done with that, but all good. Back up front, Nick Light's trying to make a move here, man. Nick seems pretty strong on the short runs, but Mark has got him on the long runs for sure.
Yeah, you heard from Mark Whitley there at the end of stage 1. He said he really wasn't pushing it that hard. Well, we'll see. I mean, Nick, it looks like Nick's giving him all he's got. But yeah, you said it, Steve. Nick is very good on the short run. Well, Whitley, while he's good on both, seems a little bit stronger on the long run.
That's right. A couple guys want to check up on real quick. Josh Larson right here. Again, has some front nose damage, it looks like. Doesn't seem like that truck is fully up to pace, but trying to get those points as much as he can. EJ Marshall, again, on track, but involved in multiple wrecks. Unfortunate for him. Still back here, though. Joe David, Charlie Birch back in the pack. Mike Corvo. Big damage as we see here, but keeping it going.
Yeah, right now, I would say Josh Larson was involved in that huge wreck coming out of 2 involving Charlie Birch.
Yes.
So, unfortunate for him. He's a lap down. Right now, there's only 2 cars lap down. Josh Larson, as I just mentioned, and Mike Corvo. So, if we get 2 quick cautions, those 2 are back on the lead lap.
That's right. Andrew McKenzie. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good, Steve. We're having fun.
Yes.
I would say, honestly, if I was Josh Larson, I think if you're that far off the pace as it looks like, I think he's going to need multiple cautions to even fix that thing.
Right.
But I will say Corvo is kind of keeping up a little bit. So maybe a quick caution, get some damage repaired, and he can go make a run for a top 10, top 15.
That's right here on board. Andrew McKenzie, big shout out to him and his sponsor, Diamond Rodent Proofing. Try and get a good angle of this truck here for you. Here we go. Diamond Rodent Proofing. Go and check them out online anywhere you can. I don't know, search Google, whatever, YouTube, all those things. Going to be sponsoring our upcoming Talladega race. Really excited for that. Going to be a winner's purse for that race and for the winner. So going to be a lot of fun next week. Always a good time to have them on board and new sponsors. Love to see it.
Yeah, I love. One thing I also love to see is also McKenzie, and McKenzie, 14th and 15th. Andrew in 14th, and I believe that is Larry.
That's right.
15th.
McKenzie Jr. Yeah, Senior unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. I guess he was having some power outage issues. A lot of things going on locally for him, but no worries there. Hopefully him and his family are okay, and no worries. Back up front, man, for a second, Nick Lights, he was about 3/10 back, but Mark has just driven away so far.
Yeah, kind of been the telltale of this race so far, but I will say, Joseph Mealy and Trevor Zalazny look like they do have, I don't even say as fast as Mark Whitley on the long run, but they seem more compatible with him on the long run.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see when they get closer together, like let's say on a restart, or maybe lap traffic holds Mark up a little bit. Let's see what happens. What happens then?
That's right. Back up front, a lot of cars right here trying to make a move. Jeff Tetro making a move. Nick Simpson. Thomas Meeks so far holding it strong right now, currently in P6. Looking strong right there, riding on board Thomas Meeks. Let's take a look at how he's doing right now. Looking pretty good, has the gloves on, fully concentrated. It's a man on a mission right now, trying to get himself locked into the playoffs by points, maybe by a win. His first win in the Truck Series would be fantastic for him. He'd be excited for that. But ooh, Nick Simpson kind of dives it in right there. Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close for Nick Simpson, but tell you what, so Nick Simpson, sorry, has had a really good race so far. He's been inside the top 10 all night long, and has really just kind of stayed there. I don't think he's got damage to his truck. Looks like he's been running clean.
Looks good.
Overall, yeah, overall a good day so far for Nick Simpson. I hope he can keep it up. Another one that probably needs a good day is the 54 truck of Matt Smith. Have not talked about him.
I feel like that's kind of one of those. It's kind of one of those things that's a good thing in a way, right? Because some of these races, they can turn into kind of not caution fests, but they can teeter on the line. And Matt Smith is just one of those guys who, he kind of sneaks under the radar, right? Because he's not really involved in wrecks, and he's fast. He's not slow by any means. But to your point, Frankie, he's having a good, clean day, and that's what will get you those points.
Yeah, sometimes it's all it takes. Just being there and just keeping that nose clean. And I mean, that truck looks pretty clean in my eyes, and honestly doesn't look like he has the fastest truck today. But maybe a couple stage points here and there, maybe a good finish, a top 10 finish, and he's close to that cut line. Because I believe he is about 30 points. As I say that, he tags the wall enter in your corner. Yeah, I believe, let's see. Yeah, he's about 32 below the cut line. And speaking of 32 points below, the same can be said for Mr. Josh Purcell right beside him right now.
That's right. Yeah, these boys need good finishes. That's for sure. Just consistency, trying to get those stage points. Because if you get stage points, if you finish in top 10, top 15 of these races, you're probably going to be okay for the top 12 of the championship round. But again, the contenders playoffs, not a bad thing either. We'll talk a lot more about what that is. If you're new to the channel or new to the league, you might not fully understand what that is, but it's something really cool that we do, or this series does for all the guys who don't make it into the championship playoffs. So going to be really fun. But yeah, right now, nothing really changing up front. A couple guys right here battling in the back. Jonathan Wright, Andrew McKenzie, Charles Bounds having a good day. P13 so far. So really solid.
Yeah, really solid day for old Charles Balance. Looking in a little bit different paint scheme, I've noticed. A white and gray paint scheme.
Little bit. Looking good.
Tell you what, the blue wheels on that thing are vibrant.
It is. Little change up in the P2. Joseph Mealy making a move around his teammate Nick Lights.
Yeah, it's kind of been the story of the race so far. It looks like Nick has the short run speed that Mark Whitley does, but it looks like Joseph Mealy, his teammate, has a closer long run speed than Nick. Same
That's
with Trevor's Lashley.
And Frankie, keep in mind that we didn't actually mention this yet, but the one unique thing about this Dash for Cash format for this race is that the stages, just like we did back at Gateway the first time around, the stages here are much more spread apart. So typically, you know, stage 1 and 2 ends usually in the first half of the race, right? And then the second half of the race is, you know, that stage 3 segment. But for the Dash for Cash races, we make stage 2 the longest one. So stage 2 ends on lap 90. So that's way into the race. It makes stage 3 more of a sprint feel to it. So these boys, pretty soon, Frank, you're going to start to see green flag pit stops.
Yeah, usually we see that in stage 3. It's flip-flopped. It's now stage 2, like you just mentioned. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see green flag pit stops. This place is kind of tricky because that first lane, you see everybody's kind of running in the second and third lane. That first lane is banked backwards, it feels like. And it's just not a really fast line.
Right.
And trying to get onto pit road as fast as you can, especially with that line being such low grip, could make for some mishaps coming on the pit road.
That's right. Well, Jamie Graham right now currently in P5, doing the best job so far out of the non-Dash for Cash drivers. Looking pretty solid. There he is right there on the left side of your screen. Man, it's focused. Trying to get that P5 in Frankie.
Yes.
Nick Lights
Nick Lights
on pit road for the first time.
Yeah, we figured someone would try to pull the trigger early, and it looks like Nick Lights is going to try to do the undercut, try to come in before his rivals, and try to put down the fastest laps on the racetrack. There's Joseph Mealy, his teammate.
Yes, sir. So green flag pit stops have begun. Teammates of Joseph Mealy and Nick Lights going to be pitting right now. Bunch of guys. Mitch Diamond currently on the pit road as well. Looks like Charles Balance might have been... Did he have a blown engine? Hold on now. What's going on with him? Oh no!
Yeah, I did see him coming to pit road with some smoke. I thought he just locked the brakes up, but man, look at that. That's...
Yeah. Not good. But Mark Whitley, leader, is currently coming down pit road. Going to have a 2-lap disadvantage against Nick Lights, but we'll see how that plays out in the long run. Trevor Zlasny currently up front in P1. So going to lead his first laps of the night, and he will get that coveted 1 extra point for leading a lap. So that could be huge for his playoffs. Again, currently has not won a race yet, so isn't locked in per se, but a lot of races like this, you can lock yourself in on points because the max you can get on points, Frankie, is actually 72. That's the maximum amount of points, that you can get in one race. So assuming he has a 72-point lead entering Watkins Glen in a few weeks, he will lock himself in.
Yep, just trying to build that gap even further. And right now, in my opinion, doing a very smart thing. I don't think he's as fast as the other 3 on the short and the long run. So so what he's doing is he's going to overcut. He's going to try to pit as late as he possibly can. As you see, Jamie Graham popping in the pits.
There he is.
And I feel like these are the rest of the guys coming down. It looks like Jeff Tetro, Nick Simpson staying out.
They are, so...
Smith. And a couple guys... Oh, sorry, Steve.
You said... Sorry. We're usually so good at this. Yeah, but Tetro, I mean, you know, leading that 1 lap, I mean, I think that's what these guys are trying to do, right? And Frankie, if you keep doing the same thing that the leaders do, you're not going to pass them, right? You're not going to do any of that. So far, good moves for these guys.
Yeah, I 100% agree. If you follow the leader, you finish behind the leader.
That's right.
So
One thing I will mention, Mark Whitley did come 2 laps after Nick Lights did, and currently it's a 3-second lead. So that undercut that Nick Lights has done did not help one bit.
I would say I would disagree a little bit. I think it
Okay.
did help a little bit with his teammate, because I think at this point, Mark Whitley was about 3.5, 4 seconds in front. While it did help narrow down the gap of Mark Whitley, and it also did help him gain a spot in Joseph Mealy. Now, Trevor Zelazny has lost about 1.5 seconds on that pit stop exchange, but he did lead a lap. Plus, he has 2 or 3 laps newer tires than Joseph Mealy.
That's right.
And Nick Lights.
Oh, yellow flag is out, Frankie. That could be huge for Nick Simpson, Matt Smith, Jonathan Wright. These guys have not pitted yet. Unbelievable. So the yellow flag is out. Mark Whitley is the leader essentially after the front 3 guys come to pit, but that is massive for these boys. Let's go back and take a look at what actually happened this time. I'm hearing Clinton Woodby here gets involved in some kind of a right mess. Let's take a look. Ooh, Frankie just kind of gets loose in turn 1.
Yeah, I've never seen that in a truck before. I mean, it's easy to do that in the Cup car, but man, that's just over driving there. Just, unfortunately,
Yeah.
It'll not only mess himself up as well, but it'll mess up everybody that's a lap down at this point and has pitted. So they're not going to be able to get the wave around, because there will be for sure guys that will not pit.
I mean, a great job by Clinton to save the truck, obviously not hit the wall or not holding the brake. So great job on that. But just, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Just overdrove a bit.
And just overdrove a bit. And I believe he was actually in the free pass position as well, because he was in front.
Man, yeah.
Of that. He was in front of that 57 truck, who I believe now is the lucky dog.
So right now, those guys who were the top 3 before that yellow came out, Jonathan Wright, Nick Simpson, and Matt Smith, they will be pitting right now. So that will assumedly give the position back, or the P1 position back, to Mark Whitley. But you're right, Frankie, everybody a lap down is going to be, they're stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. They're stuck. And, the good thing for them is there's going to be a caution. Usually this would normally be the stage end, and you are kind of out of it at this point, and you're hoping for a yellow if you're a lap down. But with the Dash for Cash race, with being stage 2 and stage 3 flip-flopped, like in length, therefore the guys that are trapped a lap down still have a shot at trying to get their lap back, because
That's right.
there's going to be a caution in about 19 laps from here.
It's a good point, Frankie. We are about 19 laps at this point away from our stage 2 finish. So, I mean, this kind of throws a cog in the wheels just a little bit. But right now, but before we throw it back to our... Actually, you know what? Let me just shut my mouth right now. Guess it's time for the boys to choose. Let's take a look at what they decide to do here.
Absolutely. One of those guys that might benefit from it is Andrew McKenzie, who's now right in front of Mark Whitley. He's going to be able to take the wave around. And if he did pit, which I believe he did, all he has to do is not go a lap down.
That's a great point.
And that'll be a big break for him in that 06 truck.
Love that. Well, 1 lap to go before we go back green. Gonna have about 17 laps to go until the end of stage 2. Stage 2 is kind of a mammoth one here, so gonna be a good time. Let's shout it out to one of our sponsors here before we go green. Big thanks to them. Alrighty, we're back at it here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Dash for Cash #2 race. Leaders coming down across turns 3 and 4 now. To lead them back off. Let's ride on board Nick Lights here as they go green. See how these boys do. Mark Whitley on the outside leads them off again into that turn number 1. Nick Light's trying to make a nice bold move right here into it.
And Nick Light's going to hold on to that second position to his teammate. His teammate, Joseph Mealy, is side by side with Trevor Zelazny.
So far looking good.
Ooh, getting really close off the exit of turn 4 with Trevor and Joseph. It looks like Trevor's going to get that spot.
Oh man, but Jamie Graham might have something to say about that. He is right there on the inside.
Oh, might have had a little contact between Trevor Zelazny and Joseph Mealy. Trevor's apologizing on the radio. So it might have been some contact, or Trevor might have just ran him up the track, you know, not on purpose, just accidentally. Either way, that's going to drop Joseph Mealy to that fifth position.
Woo! Mark Whitley making a move. I'm sorry, Mitch Diamond here on the move on the outside. Tries to keep it going there. A lot of bouncing off the wall, Frankie. These trucks, man, I'll tell you what, like when you get into the wall, it's hard to get back out. Right now, yellow is out on the track, our 6th caution. Looking like Josh Purcell here. Let's go back and take a look. Our 6th caution of the race so far. Really our 5th for incident. One of them does count as the stage, so our 5th caution of the day. Let's go back and take a look. Josh Purcell here.
Looks like coming out of turn 2. Might have gotten a little loose.
Oh,
yeah, you can see it. Just got loose. Ooh.
Keeps it going though. So interesting why the caution came. Oh, that's why. Because for that split second, he stops there on the track as he tries to recollect himself, and iRacing says, nope, that's a caution. So unfortunate for the field, but keeps it going straight. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, good job. I believe that was Anthony Williams that avoided that. It was really close to contact. Good job on Anthony Williams of avoiding that. And that does... There's about 3 people lap down. We have Larry McKenzie, Mike Corvo, and Clint Woodby are lap down. I believe McKenzie in that 00 will get the free pass.
There he is. He's off in lucky dog position. Going to pass the field right now.
Absolutely. So that means if we don't get another caution here, presumably the lucky dog spot, the lucky dog battle will be between Mike Corvo and Clint Woodby.
That's right. Woodby getting those points, man.
Yeah, just about to say if I'm Clinton Woodby, I'd be almost trying to rough up Mike Corvo because Clinton Woodby needs those points for those playoffs.
That's right. I mean, right here, Frankie, do you pit at all? I mean, if you're in the back, do you maybe grab tires? I mean, what do you do? Nothing? You just kind of wait it out until stage 2?
Yeah, I believe it's a little too early. I would say if I'm maybe Matt Smith, Nick Simpson, Nick Biddy.
Okay.
If there's another caution in another 3-4 laps, I'm coming down and taking the tires now and trying to get the track position.
That's right.
Now, personally, if it were me,
some contact on pit road. Isaac Balsamo and EJ Marshall get into it. Little doored action right there, but looks like they're going to be okay.
Got a juice truck coming out. But yeah, like I was saying, if I was Matt Smith, Nick Simpson, those guys that stayed out a little longer and got that caution, I would have maybe just taken fuel and trying to save a set of tires.
That's right. Again, big thanks to Harpoon Design, who sponsors the series, but also the Choose truck, as we see here on the hood. Go and check them out, harpoondesign.com. Big thanks to them. So Mark Whitley going to be leading him off again. Going to have 11 laps to go. Excuse me, 10 laps to go, actually, in the stage 2 finish. Going to be a good time. Real quick, let's go hit side by side, bring in a few more sponsors, and thank them for all they do for us. Alrighty, we're back at it. Mark Whitley going to be leading him off on the outside. Here we go. Green flag in the air. 10 laps to go for the stage 2 finish. Can Mark Whitley do it again?
Another good start from Mark Whitley. They're just immediately trying to gain some ground on the outside of Jeff Teacher right now. Looks like
big
top
hit in
4.
the wall by JD.
Absolutely, John Wright. That was a little more than a tap. That was a bang, I would say.
Oh man, yeah, he ain't bringing that wall to dinner first. He is just right to it.
And you see right there that
what the Jeff Teacher makes a huge what was that? He locks the brakes or something, but that was, oh man, they hit my funny bone. That was hilarious. Dude just spins hard left quick, but keeps it going. Awesome move. ABR right now in complete shambles, but they're holding on to it, keeping it straight.
Absolutely. Might have been some contact between him and Joseph Mealy. Hearing some radio communication. Might have been a little contact entering the corner. Maybe Jeff checked up a little early. Maybe Joseph Mealy just didn't check up enough. But either way, that puts Jeff Teacher back into 9th place with, I would presumably say, hot tires.
Yes, sir. Well, back up front, so far things are cooling down a little bit. Man, that was tight for a second. Back up front, Mark Whitley still leading him off. Nick Lights is right behind him.
Yeah, Nick Light's doing the same thing he's been doing for the entire race. Been trying to get in that grill of Mark Whitley, but man, it just seems like as long as Mark Whitley does not make a mistake, Nick Lights just cannot get by.
That's right. I mean, we saw this scenario recently, Frankie. I mean, Mark Whitley dominating a race, had a unfortunate incident where he got loose and spun out at Iowa. And Nick Lights went on to win the race. So, I mean, hopefully, not going to jinx him. No commentator curse here, but hopefully for Whitley, he can hold on to this thing. But Nick Lights has got to track him down.
Yeah, I would say
right on board, Nick Biddy, Andrew McKenzie. We snapped right onto them, and then it happened. We saw it live. Nick Biddy and Andrew McKenzie having some moments right there. We'll go back to it real fast and see what actually happened. So coming down the front stretch, man, that was... So Andrew McKenzie down low on the inside. Nick Biddy high. Wonder if... Ooh, Andrew hit some bumps right here. Just kind of comes up high. Ooh, oh man, Frankie. What?
Yeah, a little bit of net code there, but I mean, the way that the truck jumped, I mean, you almost thought it turned, he got turned, but that's, maybe a little bit of door banging, but
yeah,
just unfortunate for Nick Biddy. Maybe a little bit of damage, not too much, but I'll tell you what, race control, this will not be the stage end. So,
okay,
going to be interesting to see what the strategy is going to be here. I believe Nick Lights, Joseph Mealy are pitting. They're giving up stage points. And they are trying to get track position. Yeah, you see right there.
Yeah,
I mean, there was maybe going to be a bit of a door, but it wasn't going to be something like that. And you see, wow, there are a lot of people pitting, including.
So Frankie, that's interesting. So, I mean, go ahead, but Trevor Zlasny is going to be leading this race as we go green here.
Yeah, I think he's going to take the playoff point, but this
Oh!
kind. Yeah, I'm with you too. Nick Light's just immediately beating out Mark Whitley. Maybe a 2-tire strategy call.
I think so. I mean, you know, tires are wearing off, obviously, but keep in mind, Frankie, this third stage is much shorter than, you know, a traditional stage, right? It's going to feel like a lot more like stage number 1. So 2 tires, I mean, clean air, that might be the deciding factor, because we know Trevor Zelazny in P1 is going to need tires ideally, but then also fuel as well. So he's going to come in, you know, this next caution for the pits, but that's huge. Unless, I mean, you said, Frankie, that this was not the stage end, so maybe there's some miscommunication. But if not, that's a very bold move by a couple of these guys.
Yeah, I would say if I'm Trevor Zelazny, I don't like this call right now. I think with this call right here, you take yourself completely out of the dash for cash. You do get the playoff point, but you take away your entire shot,
right,
of winning the dash for cash. So I would say, I mean, you never know what the end of these races, you know, but again, we've seen it sometimes where track position's key, and you never know what may happen. But I don't know if I mean, I would say if I'm Nick Simpson, Anthony Williams, John Wright, Nick Biddy, I like this call because they're getting stage points.
Oh yeah.
If I'm Josh Purcell, would have maybe have made the move. Same thing with Matt Smith. You know, maybe tried to get the stage points first,
right,
and then worry about the finishing position. But I mean, I don't know. I would say if I'm Trevor Zelazny, I think he will get the stage win if nothing else happens. He will get the stage win because I believe it'll be a 1-lap shootout.
It should be a 2-lap shootout, but yes, it definitely seems like it's going to be close. But obviously, race control can decide that, obviously on their own. Typically, if in this scenario, it basically acts as a green-white checkered essentially for the end of the stage. But either way, no worries at all from race control. But you're right. I mean, Zelazny going to get this playoff point maybe if he wins the stage. But Nick Simpson, JD, I mean, Anthony Williams, they've got other plans, man. We'll see how it goes. But Mark Whitley back in the pack. We know how that can go. So we'll see how this goes, man. Big changes.
Yeah, let's see what will happen on this restart. Trevor Zelazny leading him off. Gonna be green.
Green flag in the air. Zelazny leads him off.
Already you see Nick Light's making a big move to the inside.
Woo!
Trying to gain those spots. Same thing with looks like Mark Whitley gonna try that very inside.
Couple of guys 3 wide right here. Oh, is this not going to work? Is it? So far, 3 wide at New Hampshire. Oh,
it's not gonna work.
Man, not going to work. Jamie Graham, Nick Biddy, Thomas Meeks. Oh, no, Andrew McKenzie just dives right into Biddy right there. Unfortunate. That is not what these boys wanted to see. Jamie Graham, current reaction, not impressed. Thomas Meeks, not looking too happy either. He is. These boys, man, they did not need this for their playoff hopes. Nick Biddy, looking pretty rough. Let's go back and take a look at what actually transpired there, man. So, Frankie, that will also end stage 2. So, Trevor Zelazny will be your stage 2 winner. So congrats to him. We'll talk to him in just a second, but let's just recap what actually happened there on that restart. Big mess right here. Obviously, Thomas Meeks came. Oh, yeah, it's really tough. I mean, we'll get a better angle here, but
From first glance, it just looked like Thomas Meeks just got loose. It's very easy. It's very easy to do here. I mean, and he just clipped him. Maybe a tad bit of neck code on first. Maybe got to go a little bit more, more further back.
This might be our best shot right here, but yeah, I mean, you can kind of.
I would say, if anything, let's try the middle of the corner.
Here we go.
Yep, that's a good angle right here. And I mean, the 3 wide entering, Joseph Mealy on brand new tires, just trying. He sees Mark Whitley and Nick Lights gaining spots. He gets clear of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, Meeks has the lane right here.
And he just moves down. Maybe a little bit of net code, but. And then Jamie Graham gets involved. Looks like a little, just like nose damage on Jamie Graham. Same thing with Thomas Meeks, Nick Biddy. And then Andrew McKenzie just an innocent bystander. Same with Jamie Graham.
Yeah, we'll take a look back at that too, because that was pretty hard hit for McKenzie. That's probably going to end his race, perhaps, but unfortunate for these guys. You guys saw it live. We'll bring in Trevor Zlasny real quick, talk about that stage number 2 win, and see what his strategy is for the next stage. Trevor Zlasny, man, in that 56 truck. How's it going, dude? Congrats on the stage 2 win. Obviously, a lot of guys are behind you, Whitley, Mealy, Lights. So what's your plan here for stage 3?
Well, first of all, them pitting there shocked me. I was not ready for that. That completely stumped me, and if I would have known they were pitting, I would have pitted too. So the plan here, I guess, we're not going to make it unless you start saving from the jump here. I'm not going to save. I'm just going to try and keep up with Whitley, Lights, and Mealy here. So my plan is just to stay with them and hopefully beat them on pit road.
Alrighty, man. Well, hey, right now we're choosing good luck the rest of the way, dude. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, Frankie. So Trevor Zlasny, in a tough spot, but hey, you know what? Walks away with the stage 2 win, gets that playoff point, gets 10 extra bonus points towards getting into the playoffs. So not a bad trade-off, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a bad trade-off. And honestly, I would have thought he would lose a little bit more spots. I mean, he's only lost about 6 spots. I mean, there were only like 5 people that stayed out. So it looks like everybody coming down pit road and just trying to fix that damage. Mitch, looks like, is that Mitch Diamond that
It
stayed
is.
out?
Stayed out.
Might have stayed out.
Well, good move. We're coming to 1 lap to go. Actually, about a half a lap to go. Now let's hit a quick sponsor segment. And thank you for their sponsorship. 1 second. And just like that, we're back. That quick, that easy. Right now, Nick Lights, Mitch Diamond going to be leading them off into the stage number 3. About 30 laps to decide who will win this New Hampshire race. We're 3 races to go before the playoffs. It's a big time for these guys. They lead them off. Here we go. Mark Whitley gets a great restart on the inside. What can you do with it?
As I was just about to say before the green, Mark Whitley does have some work to do. Right now, the positions are flip-flop. Mark Whitley has not been behind Nick Lights all race long.
Woo, Nick Simpson makes a spin on the inside. Collects it. Get back on track nice and safe. So far, so good. He's green. The flag is green. We're staying green. Nice job to collect himself. Not a lot of damage there for Nick.
Yeah, just might have been a victim of Calamity Corner tonight.
Woo, hold on now. 84. Jonathan Wright keeps it green. Green flag. Oh, now the yellow flag comes out. That was a turn 2 mess right there.
And we've had some contact all over the place.
We sure did. Let's go back and take a look here. Hard to really tell what really happened there, I guess, but Jonathan Wright on the inside goes down. Oh, kind of maybe. Does he blow the corner? Oh, he slides up. Yes, into Michael Lamphere. Unfortunate right there. It doesn't actually stop on track. So again, not real sure why, I guess, the yellow came out per se, but either way, it keeps it going.
Yeah, he could have been maybe going a little, slow enough where, iRacing had to throw it.
That's right. Well, our 7th caution of the day. Again, Jonathan Wright, not a lot of damage, which is great, but obviously might have overcooked the brakes on that turn number 1 and 2, but keeps it going. A lot of guys pitting right now. Trevor Zlazny pitting right here. Didn't pit, Frankie, or maybe he's pitting again, just topping it off on fuel, perhaps.
Yep, I believe that is the strategy. It's going to be probably a 3-second pit stop. Just wanted to top it up again just to make sure, and he will. I mean, it will mire him in the back of the pack or middle of the pack, excuse me. But what I would say is, give him security where he can push, for the last 25 laps and whatnot, and just not even worry about fuel. If there's a green white checkered, then he's not going to have to worry about it.
That's right. That is the biggest key right there. The green white checker, that could play a huge role into how this works. Right now, Nick Lights is your man on the front of the field. P1 has that clean air, Frankie, and they're on even tires. So what can Nick Lights do with this situation? What do you think?
Well, I think what he needs is, I would say, something like 10 laps caution or something like that, because we've seen it all night long where Nick Lights is able to stay with Mark Whitley for the first 10 laps, but as soon as that 11 lap marker hits, he just continues. He starts fading and fading and fading, and I think. But the difference is he's never had clean air. This time he has that clean air. It's going to be about not making mistakes, especially in the middle of the corner.
That's right.
Because here you make up most of your time in the middle of the corner and on the exit. So I think Mark Whitley's been probably the better on exits. Nick Lights has been better in the middle of the corner. So for Nick Lights, it's just going to be about not making mistakes.
It's a good point. Choose truck out on track. So far, so good. Gonna roll back off, come back down into the pits. We're gonna have 25 laps to go here for stage number 3, and to finish off this Dash for Cash race number 2, sponsored by Harpoon Design. Great to see Mark Whitley, Nick Lights out front. Roles reverse though. Nick Lights going to be leading him off in that restart zone. Mark Whitley though is really good about jumping the start to match the leaders, I've noticed. So that's going to be something to look out for. Couple guys, Frankie, Larry McKenzie Jr. right now in the 00, currently in P5. So far an awesome run for him. Hopefully he can hold on to that. Really cool to see him up there in the mix. Clinton would be in P7, P8, Anthony Williams, a couple guys who have been involved in some incidents earlier in stage 2, but hanging in there. And Mike Corvo, I mean, we saw him also involved, so really cool to see.
Yeah, good to see guys bounce back from earlier issues, and especially with that number 92 of Clinton Woodby self-spinning, probably one of the more, I would say, kind of embarrassing points. No, but it happens. But anyway, I think he's looking forward to starting in P8.
That's right. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Nick Lights gets that great restart in P1. So far back at the pack, holding on to it pretty cleanly. Looking good. Nick Simpson right now currently getting passed by Mike Corvo, holding on to it. Zelazny gets a great jump here on the outside. Gonna have clean tires. He's got to be careful though getting through this traffic. We know he's faster, but that's always a struggle for these boys.
Yeah, he's just got to work the traffic. As Trevor Zelazny, he's gonna try to go around the outside of Michael Landfair. He's gonna give room. Here's Michael Landfair, and he's gonna get that drive off.
Great move so far.
Absolutely, and maybe one guy that's kind of sneak his way into a top 5 is Jeff Tetro. Haven't talked about him much.
Ooh, there he is again. We saw him, Frankie. The last time we saw him was getting real crazy loose on entrance to turn 1. I think you said that Mealy might have gotten involved in him, but He made a huge bounce back.
And big bounce back for Jeff Tetro. Right now, about a second away from the leaders, but either way, I mean, still a really good run for Jeff Tetro. And, you know, hasn't ran this truck series much, but man, when he runs, he's fast.
Yes, sir. He is knocking on that door for a win for sure. Great job.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
No, go ahead.
We might have a battle brewing for the lead. Mark Whitley has been able to keep in touch with Nick Lights. And I'll tell you what, a role reversal kind of favors Nick Lights a little bit more, in my opinion. Because Nick has that clean air. Mark Whitley does not. As long as Nick Lights just kind of aero blocks, as, you know, per se, then he's just going to sit there right in front of him and just put dirty air on that nose of Mark Whitley. And Mark Whitley has had clean air all race long. He has not had to follow anybody. In the last 30 laps, you know, or whatnot, he's had to follow another car.
That's right.
So it takes a completely different discipline from being a leader and being back in traffic, whether it's second, third, fourth, fifth, or 15th.
It's a great point. Mitch Diamond right now way up high, trying to make this move around Trevor's Lasney or hold off his spot. Trevor's making that move happen.
And Trevor, biggest mover since the restart. I believe he restarted 11th, 12th. Now he's up into the top 5. Now it's going to be pretty interesting. I believe that all the leaders should be good on fuel. If not, they'll be a little short, not too much short. So I think with Trevor, and especially just Amelia Need, is another caution. Try to get closer to Nick Lights and Mark Whitley. Try to beat him on restart. But so far, it looks pretty single file throughout the field. You know, maybe a little battle for 7th going on between McKinsey and Clinton Woodby.
A little bit. So far, looking pretty good, man. These guys are getting higher and higher in this track as they go.
Yeah, you'd almost think it's a dirt track trying to push the cushion a little bit.
Yeah, this track is unique, Frankie, in a way where, I mean, if you get outside of those bottom 3 grooves, like in that dark stuff up there where Mitch just was, it almost feels like the way outside of Texas 1 and 2, where it almost feels like it kind of levels off the other way. It banks the other way. It's not exactly a fun place to be, but it definitely can make it happen if you need to.
No, but I would say what it does cool down your right sides, especially, you know, if you intentionally put your car there, it'll kind of cool the right sides a little bit. As we see, we got a little battle for the lead brewing here. Mark Whitley trying to get to the left rear quarter panel. Nick Lights is gonna look. Is he gonna take it?
He's going for it. Oh, gets into him. Oh. Mark Whitley gets into Nick Lights, gonna send him around. Mark Whitley. Oh man, Nick Lights goes around. Nick Lights not gonna be a happy camper right there, recovering his ride. Oh my word. 16 laps to go.
That is going to change everything.
Nick on the big screen right now, he is man, I'll tell you what, he is not happy. I know he loves racing, but woo.
Yeah, he's looking at the camera right now like he knows. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Hey, that's the great thing about driver cams. We get to go right into the reaction. It's cool to see. So unfortunately for Nick, I mean, right now going to be in 14th place, but let's go back and take a look at what actually transpired there. Here's the thing, Frankie, this could be huge with the rule book. Mark Whitley takes out Nick Lights. You know he's going to get that EOL. So what does this do for the race? What does that do for the Dash for Cash?
Well, I believe this race will now turn in hand to, I believe, Jeff Tetro. Unless, I believe Jeff Tetro is pitting right here. Maybe trying to get some tires, but yeah, honestly, live view, it just looked like Mark Whitley just trying to maybe a lap, maybe you're a lap behind, Steve.
Might
but
be next lap. Yeah, we'll take a look at it, but we definitely have to cover this because that is absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's huge for two reasons. It takes two guys out of the Dash for Cash races. I mean, it just looked like Mark Whitley just extended that braking zone a little too much, and you knew as soon as he got in the left rear, it was going to be very hard for Nick Lights to get recovered from there. You see right there, he's just pushing. Honestly, I wouldn't say anything intentional. It's just two guys going for a win, and right there, I mean, there was a hole open. Mark will say Nick closed it a little too much. Nick will say, well, Mark just drove through me, but that's just two guys just going hard for a win. That's just what it looks like. And
that's right. Very, very tough to say. Mark Whitley right now, a couple guys, man, but we have a restart. That's huge, man. Mark Whitley, Nick Lights, the dominant forces of the race so far. We'll see if I guess just how this works. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but I believe the top two stayed out under this, this latest yellow. So that will leave, everybody from third on back has tires.
That's right.
So what that does for this race is, honestly, I think he's really wishing more guys did stayed out.
I mean, I would think so, but I mean, Frankie, he's in the catbird seat now. I mean, as far as Dash for Cash, he is the man, unless Trevor Zelazny pulls this out. But as far as speed-wise, Joseph has played third fiddle the entire time, but I mean, still quick, just not as quick as Whitley and Lights. And I don't know that 13 laps, really 12 laps to go once we go green, is going to be enough.
I don't know. They had about 10 laps on their tires. It's gonna be tough to hold off. Even Jeff Tetro and Trevor Zelazny and even Clinton would be behind. 10 laps is a big gap, so I think Joseph's biggest thing he needs to do is he needs to get the start he needs, and he needs to just rock it away. Hope that Nick Simpson, Jeff Tetro, and Trevor Zelazny just fight and fight and fight, and kind of just let Joseph get a little bit of a gap. But
yep. Yeah, tough break for all. I mean, obviously the top two guys, but I mean, we've seen this before where wins kind of fall into the lap of drivers that, I mean, no offense to them, but kind of just, didn't deserve it, or maybe weren't the fastest cars on track. Either way, Joseph Mealy's going to lead these boys off. But if you're Nick Simpson, Jeff Tetro, I mean, you are looking at a real good shot here for a win. Let's see what these boys can do. 11 laps to go.
Yep, and I have some inside scoop. Jeff Tetro on 2 tires. Everybody else has 4. We're green.
Here we go. Great jump for Jeff Tetro. Trevor Zelazny going to try and make a move here on the inside. Makes it looking pretty easy. That low line, though, is pretty flat. Progressive banking here, Frankie. It's not always easy to rotate it around that lower groove, but makes it happen. Look at this, Jeff Tetro trying to take over P1 of Joseph Mealy. Can he clear him?
Oh, he's not clear yet. That's going to help Trevor Zelazny get closer. But I think Tetro's going to get at this corner. I think if Joseph's not going to have the speed in the middle of the corner, yep.
There he
Jeff
is.
Tetro to P1.
Jeff Tetro in P1. What a comeback race today so far for him, Joseph Mealy. And right here for the Dash for Cash, who's going to sneak in and try and win this? Trevor Zelazny's making a dive right here into turn 4. Joseph Mealy can't quite hold on to it. Awesome job for him. Jeff Tetro is going to run away so far with this thing. 0.4 of a second lead gap. But what can Trevor do? Frankie, Joseph does not have it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Joseph just does not have the grip, especially in the middle of the corner. It seems like he can get into the corner good and get out of it good. He just cannot roll through the center. You see it right there. He's just losing 1/10.5 every time in the middle of the corner. And right now, if I'm Trevor Zelazny, I mean, you're sitting really, really pretty. You got Nick Lights in P5 going for P4. You got Mark Whitley behind him, just giving it all they got.
Big moves right here, right now. Jonathan Wright, Mark Whitley. Mark's trying to make every move he can, currently in P6, but we have almost 7 laps to go. Mark Whitley is trying everything he can to get through this field. I just don't know if he has time.
I don't know, but Nick Lights has moved himself up to P3. He is driven away from Mark Whitley a little bit. We know Nick is very good on the short run. Can he get to Trevor Zelazny and take the Dash for Cash spot away from him?
Man, Jeff Teachow isn't even on the list for our graphic of a playoff bubble. If he wins this race, he is going to be in the playoffs automatically, but Trevor Zelazny is right there on his bumper.
Yeah, right now, those 2 tires, he's got to hold off for another 7 laps. You see right there, does not have it off the exit of the corner. Trevor Zelazny going to the inside.
Makes that diving move. Trevor couldn't really get a good angle there, but gets the pass done.
He's going to clear it. Crossover coming from Jeff Teachow, though. Trevor on the preferred line. Jeff going to go way down the bottom of the racetrack.
Wow, what a move.
He's going to try the slide job. The slide job.
Slide job at New Hampshire. Have you ever seen it? Oh, no, Jeff Teachow. Gonna bring out a caution. Yes, he does. Oh, no, Jeff, you had it. Unfortunate. Saw the win in front of him. Tried to do everything he could to try and make it happen, but just didn't have enough. Nick Light's actually being scored P1 right now. Man, let's uncover this real quick. Absolute chaos at the end of this race, but man, it's exciting. Let's go back real quick. Jeff Teachow already spinning here. Let's go back a little bit further back.
Yeah, I believe it's all going to start the entrance turn 3. Jeff Teachow making a slide job move. See, this is going into turn 1. Trevor Zelazny going to clear him, but Jeff Teachow makes the crossover. He's going to send it into turn 3. Going to try the slide job. Trevor going to slow up the middle of the corner, try to get the exit.
Oh, Trevor's the one who got loose into him. We thought it was Teachow who got loose, but it's actually Zelazny.
Man, that's really tough if you're race control, because I mean, from that view, it didn't look like Jeff Teachow took up all the real estate. See right there, he probably had around a lane more on the outside. Trevor just expecting him to go there. I don't know. If I'm race control, I would say that's more hard racing than anything, but you never know. I mean,
yeah, I mean, as the rule sits, I mean, caution causer gets the EOL. Typically, obviously, if it's ruled as a racing incident, then they most likely won't give it away. But definitely hard to see that. But man, but we cannot discount the fact that P1 right now is Nick Lights. Mark Whitley is right there in P3. He got through the field, the entirety of the field, from his EOL, from a penalty from spinning out Lights, with 15 laps to go, and he's right now in P3. So through all of that calamity and chaos, the Dash for Cash 4 drivers are 1, 2, 3, and 4, Frankie. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't end any other way, and I believe we are going to a green-white checkered.
That's right.
The only attempt at a green-white checkered.
I'll tell you what, that's super unfortunate for Jeff Teachow. Obviously was looking really good there. I mean, if Trevor doesn't get loose right there and whatnot, I mean, Zelazny might be, walking away with this win. Who knows? It's hard to tell, right? But I mean, Jeff Teachow would have had maybe a top 5 finish, which would have been fantastic for him and his playoff hopes. But this right here determines a lot. What are they going to choose? Outside lane for Lights and Mealy. Big moves right here for these guys.
And we just saw on that word from race control, Trevor Zelazny will get the EOL, and that takes him right out of contention.
Unfortunate.
So that'll bring the 2 protagonists of this race, Nick Lights and Mark Whitley, back to the front.
So I'll tell you what, that's massive for Trevor. I mean, obviously unfortunate, got loose, but got into, Teacher there, but race control staying consistent. You can't blame him. I mean, caused the caution. That's the penalty. That's how we operate. So super unfortunate, but you're right. Mark Whitley, Nick Lights. I mean, how much room, Frankie, does Nick Lights give Mark Whitley here? Probably not a lot, if I had to guess.
I would probably say if I'm Nick Lights, I would give Mark Whitley negative 69 inches of room. Honestly, because
wow,
just to be, I mean, in other words, no room. So
right.
I mean, Mark Whitley is, I would say he's got to at least keep it clean with 2 to go. With 1 to go, there could be a bump and run, there could be a dump and run, there could be whatever. But
I mean, come on, Frankie, you're thinking that this thing is going to go green the entire way? Come on now.
I think so. I think so. These boys, I wouldn't want to cause a caution.
All right,
but we're green.
Yes, we are. Nick Light's going to lead him off. Goes down at the turn 1. So far, we're going JD. Jonathan Wright going to make a move here on... Ooh, he's looking real tight here. Back. Trying to make that move around Joseph Mealy. Clinton Woodby going to try and squeeze down into there. Going to go 3 wide here.
He's going to take it 3 wide. That's not going to work.
No, sir, it's not. Yellow flag will probably come out. Yes, it is. And Nick Lights is going to be your winner here today for the Dash for Cash number 2 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Unbelievable. White flag in the air, but yellow flag did come out, so that will end the race. Yellow flag will unfortunately freeze the field, and once these boys come around 1 more half lap, that will be the finish of the race. Man, crazy. Frankie, New Hampshire, green, white, checkered finishes. Name me a better combo.
Yeah, we have, I mean, what a story with Nick Lights from spinning with 15 to go to winning. Not only just the race, but there's some cash money.
That's right. Nick Light's going to come across the checkered flag. Going to be in the air right here. You see Barney the flag man. And there it is. Nick Lights gets that win here. 3rd win of the season here for Nick Lights. Ties Mark Whitley with the most wins so far this season. Great job by Nick.
Yeah,
P2 going to be Mark Whitley. Clinton Woodby comes through for a P3. Awesome job by him.
Yeah, good job from Clinton Woodby. But I will say, if as a race control question, Steve, if Clinton Woodby did cause that yellow,
that's right.
Would he get the EOL after the checkered?
He would. That is exactly the case because it caused the yellow, so race control still needs to assess who that caution goes to. So you're right. If Clinton Woodby or really anybody who was that winner. What's going on back here? Hold on now. Whoa. Just buddies right there messing around. So yeah, just to answer your question, Frankie, you're right.
Yeah, after Nick Lights' burnout, why not let's take a look at what happened with 2 laps ago. Because I believe it involved Clinton Woodby, the 04 of Jonathan Wright, and the 39 truck of Joseph Melias. Nick Lights going to burn it down.
Awesome job so far, but Nick Light's going to be your winner here for the Dash for Cash at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Congrats to him in that precision measurement. Let's ride on board with Nick right here. Super excited to see that. Great job. Mark Whitley going to be P2. Clinton would be P3 pending what race control decides to do for the penalties there. Joseph Mealy in P4. Mitch Diamond in P5. Nick Simpson P6. Solid run for him. Thomas Meeks in B7. 8th is Larry McKenzie Jr. 9th is Mike Corvo. And Michael Lanphier will be P10. Awesome job. All right, so breaking news, Clinton Woodby, who finished P3, is actually going to be put on the tail end of the lead lap for that last yellow penalty. So Clinton Woodby will become Nick Lights. We'll get to Nick Lights in just a second here. We'll interview him. Let's go back real quick and look at that yellow flag just to make sure we understand what actually happened, and then I'll explain how that all works. So right here, Clinton Woodby, yeah, race control is giving this caution right here to Clinton Woodby in the 92. So Clinton is not going to be finishing third. He, per the penalty, will be finishing, will be given the EOL. So in this case, that will be obviously tail end of the lead lap cars. So that will be mired back in, I'll tell you, he will finish 17th place. I'm sorry, 16th place at the very end of the lead lap. So unfortunate for him, that will move Joseph Mealy to P3. So congrats to Mealy, Whitley, and Lights to be our top three. Let's go to our sponsors real quick, thank them, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so New Hampshire Motor Speedway is the site of the second Dash for Cash here. Nick Light's going to be your winner for the Harpoon Design Dash for Cash. Congrats to him. We'll bring him up in just a second. Frankie, Race Control is deciding who is determining the top three, because again, the one thing that we do uniquely here is that oh, Frankie's not with me. That's all right. So I'll talk to the chat real quick. So the one unique thing that we do here is that at the time of yellow, we especially at the end of a race, that is determined to be the finishing results, minus any penalties or whatnot. So the top three at this point is essentially determined by who was top three at the time of yellow. And according to Race Control, it looks like the top three at the time of yellow was obviously Nick Lights P1, Mark Whitley in P2, and Mitch Diamond in P3. So Mitch Diamond will be given third position. Joseph Mealy looks like he was in sixth place at the time of yellow. So we will not be scoring him as P3. A little bit confusing there, but obviously green, white, checkered finishes aren't always the easiest thing to try and Race Control and steward. So right now, let's go talk to our third place finisher real quick before we talk to Nick Lights and Mark Whitley. Hey, Mitch Diamond, hey, a 65 machine. How's it going, dude? Hey, P3 at the time of yellow. So you are the third place finisher, man. How do you feel?
Man, I really appreciate it. It feels good to finally get a top three again, but this should have been JD's spot, man. He had a really good run, and just nice to see ABR up front.
Love to see him. And obviously that race was pretty wild. Bunch of things were going on, for the most part of the race, and all kinds of just, turn two was Calamity Corner and whatnot. Your truck got kind of beat up, but explain to us how the race was, from your view, and how'd you get it done?
It started out real calm. Everybody was pretty calm, and then, like you said, it started getting crazy. I popped the wall a couple times. I think I hit the 5 car once trying to dodge a wreck. it was just kind of yo-yo through the field. Start 5th, start 18th, start 30th, start whatever, And
Yep.
I'm just glad I finished on the good side of that yo-yo.
Love that, man. Hey, obviously P3, great maneuver. Obviously trying to get your way into the playoffs. Looking pretty good anyway, but a top 3 obviously is going to help that. So next week, going to go to Talladega. Obviously a crapshoot, but can be a lot of fun as well. So it should be a lot of fun. Give us any shout out you have, and we'll see you next week, man.
Yeah, let's call our shot. Let's put ABR in victory lane at Talladega next week.
Love that. Let's get it done. All right. Well, Mitch Diamond, P3 finish here at the line when the yellow came out was P3. So great job, man. We'll catch you next week.
All right. Thanks.
All righty. Awesome job of Mitch Diamond finishing P3 at the time of yellow. Sometimes it's, hey, listen, sometimes, Frankie, you're either the windshield or sometimes you're the bug. But in this case, man, it worked out for him. But let's bring in Mark Whitley. I'm going to talk to him about his race. Hey, Mark Whitley, it's Frankie and Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yep.
Hey, dude, how's it going? So obviously P2, I mean, you made a valiant effort there towards the end to make your way back up to the field from that EOL, from getting into Nick. I mean, just explain your race, how'd it go? I mean, how'd you even get back up there?
Yeah, well, first I gotta get something off my chest and go through a little rant. So, first off, going in the corner with Nick like that, I mean, he about drove me to the bottom of the track, which fair game. But then obviously I got to slide up the track because drilling in and getting pinched like that. Made a little bit of contact, and 9 times out of 10, I mean, he had a chance to save it, didn't save it, whatever. If that's a fucking AOL, then every damn racing deal ever is an EOL, because you can't breathe on another guy. And it happened later in the race, somebody else getting, they got together going for lead. And I mean, if you're going to call that shit EOLs, I mean, you might as well not even race for lead, because, I mean, racing hard, or you just want to sit there and follow the leader. So, I ran through the field trying to get back up to the lead, and, people just couldn't keep it green for the last green, white checkered, and had to come up with second. And, it's no big deal, but second place is all right, but should have won the damn race. And, calls like that just kind of tick you off, because it's sitting there like, I couldn't have done anything else. He pinched me off going in the corner, and obviously the damn car's going to slide up, and, whatever. But
Alrighty, well, Mark Whitley in P2, man, congratulations again on that top 3 position. We'll see you next week, obviously, at Talladega. Going to be another fun time there, but congrats again on that P2.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, not a happy camper. I think we expected that, but hey, listen, at the end of the day, race control is race control, right? If you cause a caution, you get the EOL. It's very simple. So, don't know what to say, but unfortunate for these guys. I mean, I get the frustration, but I don't know, man. Either way, we're going to go talk to Nick Lights, our numero uno winner today. Let's bring him on in. Nick Lights, man. Hey, hold on now. What happened? There he is, Nick Lights. P1 today, man. Obviously, crazy race. Obviously didn't expect a lot of that craziness at the end there. But explain to us how that race went for you.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, Whitley was probably the fastest truck all day. So any strategy I could to try to stay in front of him and do that would, help me try to win the race. Ultimately, he did get back up front, and we made a little contact there. I'd say it was a racing deal, personally, but I don't know. Well, it's one of those things, I guess. But yeah, no, great job for our team to get the dash for cash, $30 richer. So that's a good thing.
Yes, sir. Looking good, yes. Notice that, the nice black to white fade, looking pretty good. But yeah, man, I mean, obviously New Hampshire's a tough racetrack in general. But I mean that Whitley, I don't know if you heard his comments a second ago. But
yeah.
so obviously frustration. But I mean, again, right? It's happened to Zelazny, did the same thing to Tetro, a couple laps later and got the EOL as well. So it's just unfortunate for these guys, but
cup race of last 2 weeks, the guy leading with like a couple laps to go or whatever, the fastest car didn't ultimately win.
Yeah, no, and that sometimes is the case, but it's unfortunate. But obviously for you, you know, hey, P1, third one of the season, looking real strong.
Go.
Looking real strong for the championship, playoff hopeful. So going to be good. But yeah, you're right. Dash for Cash winner, looking good. Talladega next week. Gonna be some fun. I guess I can put it that way. But either way, after that Watkins Glen, gonna be a good time. So hey man, congratulations. Give us your shout outs, sponsors or friends and family, whatever you have.
Yeah, shout out first to the New Hampshire Infield Care Center guys. We took a hard hit in qualifying there, knocked us out. So we're good on that. Good to start the race. And I saw that you guys caught that. And shout out to Precision Measurements for being on the truck. Yeah, I'm excited for Talladega and the playoffs.
Love to see it, man. Hey, congratulations again. We'll see you obviously Thursday for the Cup side of things. But yeah, awesome job, dude. Congrats on that P1.
I love you.
All right. Alrighty. So Nick Lights, again, your winner again for the Harpoon Design Truck Series. Great job by him. So Frankie, I mean, obviously we had a pretty eventful race at the end of this deal. What are your thoughts?
I mean, we had action packed. We had some green flag racing. We had some green flag pit stops even. We had some tempers. We had some passion, and we had a winner and a Dash for Cash winner. So, I mean, you know, this race had kind of everything. You know, if you wanted some green flag racing, we had green flag racing. You wanted some close action racing, we had close action racing. You know, we had almost everything in a race. Now, I do want to make a comment about Whitley's little mini rant, and I have I can understand what he's trying to say. So I think at the end of the day, that's just passion. He wants to win bad. I think he knows he had a really good shot at winning.
That's right.
And he feels like he didn't really get much to work with. And you know, he said Nick pinched him off, and it did look like Nick wasn't going to give him a lot of room. So, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it is racing, and if you don't like racing, you just you can watch it on Sunday.
That's right. And the thing is about drivers like, Whitley or Lights or whatnot, they're very passionate, right? And I totally get it. I don't shy away from that. But it's one of those things where, winners want to win, right? And it's in a case like this, I mean, the rule book is unfortunately, well, not, I guess not unfortunately, I guess it's unfortunate for, some of these guys. It's very clear. It's if you cause a caution, whether it's intentional or whether it's on accident, getting loose or over driving, whatever the situation is, you get the EOL for that caution. You basically own that caution, so there's really no, race control doesn't look at the why necessarily. They just look at, okay, who caused the caution event, right? And in that case, Whitley did, as far as, to race control's standards, same thing that we saw with, Zelazny and Tetro. Zelazny got loose out of turn 4, got into Tetro and sent him around. So that's unfortunately how that works. And the rulebook is very consistent about that. But at the end of the day, I mean, Whitley is a very passionate guy, obviously, a winner. He's won in all 3 of our series. So, going to be a playoff contender and champion, hopeful for sure in the playoffs. So looking pretty good, Frankie, but these things happen. But at the end of the day, Nick Lights gets it done, man. P1. Next week, Talladega, going to be an absolute, fun time. I'll tell you that. What do you, think we'll see there?
Oh, we'll probably see, honestly, probably one of the best car track combinations in the sim in general. A lot of guys are pretty familiar with trucks at Talladega. You'll see a bunch of money races there, and I feel like we'll have a good race. I like these trucks around Dega.
I love that. Well, folks, we're gonna send you guys off. It's a late night for us over here on the East Coast, but it's all good. But right now, I mean, yeah, New Hampshire proved to be a fun time. again, kind of calamity, but New Hampshire always, brings it. It's always fun time here, but we're going to send you guys off next week again, Talladega, for the truck series, the Harpoon Design Truck Series. Stay tuned this Thursday for the Wheels America Cup Series. Same time, same channel, the Wheels America Racing Network at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Going to be a really good time for them for the Cup Series. This is actually 2 races to go for them until the playoffs. So going to be pretty crazy. Going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be having a lot more fun here in the Granite State. So we'll send you boys off and boys and girls off. Have a good night. We love you. Thank you for the support. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Helps a lot more than you think it does. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow or Thursday, whatever day it is. Thank you guys. Have a good night.